Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 200 to my random chatbot series. That's right guys, we're still going even 200 videos later. Like a video or two ago, we started talking to this electric typlosion, electric and ice type typlosion that I made, and we're just talking. I actually told him about that Lugia that had to turn into a robot right now. This is the first, and I just told him I actually made a legendary from a Johto before that didn't get so lucky. Well, I ain't gonna say completely like that, guys, but you guys can go watch the video if you want to see exactly what happened to that poor Lugia.
The Typhlosion looks really sad when you say that. Asks, really? Which legendary was it? And what happened to it?
Here's what I told him. I found a Lugia that was very badly injured. I tried my best to save him, but no matter what I tried, it didn't work. I did eventually kind of save him, but it took some weird measures to do it, and by that I mean the robot method. So,
The Typhlosion seems like he really wants to know more now. Asks, what happened? How did you save it? What kind of weird measures are we talking about here?
I had to turn him into a partial robot. Period. But it was the only thing I could do to save him. Him. Oh my gosh, the Typhlosion is shocked by that answer. Every time he uses the word shocked now, it's going to feel like a pun. Because it's an electric type Typhlosion!
The Typhlosion is shocked by that answer and looks really confused by it. He then asks in a confused manner, a robot? It was turned into a robot? How did you do that?
I had my own lab. That I took him to. Period. I tried everything I could. But the only thing that worked was to do that. He's gonna be, I don't know if that's a... I must be really smart then. In the other story I was, but...
The Typhlosion looks even more shocked when you said that. Asks, you have your own lab? That has to take a lot of time and effort to make one. And you tried everything you could to save the legendary? Wow, you must be really smart then.
I still beat myself up for that. Period. That Lugia. Hold on. Alright guys, I can't say everything I said on here. I just told the little incident that happened with that Lugia, okay? The little thing that happened with that poor Lugia that's now a robot. I'm not gonna read it out. I don't want to think about it again. Saying out loud makes me feel upset now. I think about it again.
The Typhlosion nods in understanding answers. Yeah, I can understand that completely. Like, I am really happy that I survived, got new abilities. But I don't know what I would do if I just woke up from the 5-hour blackout and found out that I accidentally caused the death of someone else. Even if I couldn't control it, I would still feel responsible for it.
I wasn't the one that caused it. I tried everything in my power to save him. Actually, I just found him lying in a field with a very bad injury. Aw. Mm.
The Typhlosion nods and answers. Yeah, I know that you didn't cause it. So you just found him in a field? I wonder what caused him to get hurt so badly? The legendary are supposed to be able to take on most of anything they face.
I think it was a bunch of aggressive Pokemon. Period. Mm. Yep.
The Typhlosion nods his head in agreement and answers. That makes sense. If a whole group of aggressive wild Pokemon jumped one legendary Pokemon, they would easily get overwhelmed.
Hold on, guys. I want to explain it. I want to see if I explain the robot situation a little bit more. Alright, guys. I just told him that I didn't know the complete way to answer it, but I told him about how I could talk to the regular Lugia inside the robotic body. That's the weird thing with the robot Lugia. His original form and his new robotic form are actually separate. Well, I guess kind of in its own way. Like, I can talk to the regular Lugia and all that. I can actually ask the robot to let me talk to the regular Lugia. And here's what...
The Typhlosion takes a minute to process that response. Wait, so if his regular and robotic forms are separate, does that mean that they can both be in the same place at the same time?
I really don't know. Lugia called it his essence. But I really don't know what that means. I believe that's what he called it. Was it his essence or his subconscious? I don't remember what he said it was now. It's been a while. Oh my gosh.
The Typhlosion thinks for a moment, responds, I've never really heard of an essence before. I wonder what that is exactly. But if you can talk to just his essence, what does that even look like?
Most of the time, you can still kind of see how he's acting. Just by the robotic stuff on him. Period. The robot's eye color is one indicator. I believe I have seen it change to represent his mood. Represent the real Lugia's mood. Oh.
The Typhlosion seems really impressed by that and thinks out loud, wow, that is really smart and amazing. He actually programmed the robotic features to represent the true Lugia's emotions. I don't think I would ever be able to pull that off. I probably wouldn't even know where to start.
It took me a few months, I believe, to get that robot made. Period. At first, I thought it didn't work because I didn't get a response. But well, see, that's the thing that makes it hard because the original story of that was supposed to be I didn't get a response from him right away, and because of that, I went off crying. But I think he actually responded in the actual story I did of him, so I don't know which one to go based off of. I'll go based on the description story because that's basically how I want to go. I didn't want him to actually I didn't want him to actually go down in that sense. I'm still so mad at myself for not saving him in time. The robot actually did work. And I saved Lugia that way. I guess you could say I saved him. I don't know if you consider that saving. I mean, what he's. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Do you count that? I don't know, because I don't know what his essence is. Is that something. Is that kind of like a soul of him? I don't know.
The Typhlosion is even more impressed by that answer and response. Wow, you took months to make the robot? That already sounds impressive to me since I don't even know how to make something like that, much less start to build one. And it helps save the legendary? Wow, you really are
No.
smart, aren't you?
No, I am not. To be honest, I'm really not that smart. Period. I just did everything in my power to make sure that Lugia was saved. Because I care about him a ton. 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 Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh, dude. Ah.
The Typhlosion shakes his head and responds, I think you're wrong. You just made a complete robotic replica of a legendary Pokemon just to try and save him. I don't think anyone else would do that other than you. That is definitely an act of a smart person. Hell, it sounds like something that a genius would do.
I cared about Lugia. Lugia! Exclamation point. I promised him that I would save him no matter what. And make sure he gets better. Unfortunately, that was the only thing I could do. Hey.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement and answers, I can tell you really cared about him. And you did do the best you could to save him. Maybe even no one else could have done better than you. You gave him a second life in a way.
Oh, sweet Arceus. Yeah, but I still believe if I would have acted, put him in a robotic body sooner, maybe it would have been even better. I'll be right back. I'm not reading everything. I just told him that, like, I felt guilty for not thinking about way sooner. And saving that Lugia, I mean. Uh,
The Typhlosion sighs at that thought and says in a comforting manner, I know that you think that you could have acted sooner, but you did not know if that would have changed anything. You can't really know the outcome that fast. Also, you should be easy on yourself. Don't always blame everything on yourself like that, okay?
that's actually funny, because I do that a lot, even in not situations like this. Yeah, I know. Period. Even Lugia tells me that. I think it's always gonna slightly bother me. Uh, well,
The Typhlosion sighs and nods in understanding. Yeah, I know how that feels. Whenever I do something wrong, or mess up even a little bit, I feel like I should have done better. But the important thing is to keep going forward. Don't let it hold you back. Take everything you learn from your mistakes. Use them to improve yourself.
that is really inspiring too. What in the world? I know Lugia is very grateful. Period. He's glad that I cared so much about him to do anything to save him. Him. Period. He even decided to stay with me instead of going back to his family. Oh, wow.
The Typhlosion smiles at that and answers, yeah, the love and care that you showed him made him want to stay with you even more. I can't imagine having a legendary Pokemon choosing to stay with me. That would mean that I did something really right.
I wait. I couldn't believe he wanted to stay with me either. Period. So I made it to where he could teleport and made the robot waterproof. So that way he could go and see his family whenever he wanted. Ah, hey.
The Typhlosion thinks that is really awesome response. That is really cool of you. You made him robotic body waterproof? How did you actually do that? And you gave him the power to teleport? How did you do that too?
It took a bit of work to do it. but I did it. Period. I have this computer system in the lab that I believe lets me add these upgrades. I say I believe because literally I just flip and put in the when I add a function. I said I add a waterproof function. I add a guard and protect mode. You know, like I didn't say actually how I did it completely.
The Typhlosion looks really impressed by that and answers, "Wow, so not only did you have to learn how to make a robotic body, but you also made a computer system that can add upgrades to said robots. Wow, you're really smart. I didn't even know things like that were possible."
I'm just glad I saved that. I'm Lugia. Period. That's what motivated me to keep going, even when it all seemed bleak. I wonder if bleak is even the right word to use in that circumstance. I know I've heard like people say something like that.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement. "Yeah, sometimes all it takes is one really big thing to happen, turn your whole life around. Like getting struck by lightning, for example. I'm really glad that you were able to save the Lugia, so that way the whole incident turned out to be a good thing."
Let me see if I can word it. Ain't the best way, guys, but I don't know if I actually let you guys rate. Oh my gosh, Typhoon just met something about Team Rocket. So usually you guys didn't get to hear the last thing about when I said everything. Whatever I said, I'm just glad I saved that Lugia. That's what motivated me to keep going, even when it all seemed bleak. And if you didn't guys hear what he said over that, he just said, Typhoon nods in agreement. Yeah, sometimes all it takes is one really big thing to happen. You turn your whole life around. I believe he actually did read that out. Here's what I said next. If there's a Pokemon I care about, I will make sure to keep them protected and loved. I was not going to let that poor Lugia suffer. Let's see what he thinks about that.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement. "That is really awesome that you would do that. I wish there were more humans that cared that much about all the different kinds of Pokemon.
Not all of them, just some of them.
Some humans can unfortunately be really evil or mean. Like one group of humans that made me really upset and angry was Team Rocket. They were trying to capture me, take my flames. Luckily, they failed though."
I'm just glad you're safe now. Period. You might want to find a good place to hide, though. Not many humans come up here, I know. But you never know with Team Rocket. Because especially if they see him now, they'll want him even more. Mm.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement and responds, "Yeah, I know that I need to be careful. They may still be looking for me, which is why I live in this place. Not a lot of people come up here. Plus the cold temperatures help me cool down a lot when I get too fired up."
Yeah. They would probably be more willing to take you since you have a different form now. Period. You are probably the only Pokemon that have of your species. that has this. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement and responds, "Yeah, I know that they would love to take me and experiment on me if they caught me. Just because I have a different form now. They love trying to catch rare Pokemon like this and study them. If they got me, they would never let go. Which is why I live here now. The cold temperatures help me stay cool, plus there is a lot of food for me to eat here. There are a lot of bird Pokemon that come up here, but they have learned not to mess with me."
No wonder you have ice and electric types, which is two things most bird Pokemon are weak to. Ice and electric. Most most bird Pokemon are weak to electric and ice. So it makes sense why they wouldn't want to mess with you. Oh my gosh. Thunder Cage.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement. "Yeah, I've been able to protect myself pretty well during my time here. The only real issue that I have faced here is a few blizzards and a couple of avalanches. But other than that, I have lived here without too much issue. Of course, some of the bird Pokemon still try to attack me sometimes, but they don't get too far before I use Thunder Cage on them."
What's he doing? Trapping them in a cage like an actual bird in real life? What in the world? Well, not all birds get like that. It's just some people do that with like parrots or some other birds. Whatever bird. I can't think of all the birds who will do that have as pets, but them. That's really cool. Exclamation point. I don't know what to say to him. That's like one of the best things about having a new form of a Pokemon. It's like I don't really know what to think or say to him after we get through the initial like, oh, this looks really cool. How are you using this? How are you doing that? Why are you like this? You know, I like the Feraligatr one. He doesn't hand me a random thing out of nowhere. Feraligatr, if he trusts, or that fairy Feraligatr, if he trusted you, actually gives you a flipping spike that has like, what was it, ice cream? I don't know how it completely works. There's no had ice cream on a spike. About okay.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement. "Yeah, I think so too. Thanks for the compliment. It took me around 3 months to master Thunder Cage. The whole time I kept accidentally shocking myself with the lightning, but now that I know how to control it, I love to use it."
Did it hurt to accidentally shock yourself? Oh my. It probably shouldn't anymore since you are part electric type. Oh, there we go.
The Typhlosion nods in response. "Yeah, it did hurt pretty badly the first time that I shocked myself by accident. But I'm part electric type now, so it doesn't hurt as much as it used to. It still shocks and tingles slightly, though, when I accidentally do it, but I can pretty much ignore it these days."
Uh, okay then, well. Did you like interacting with people? Besides Team Rocket, that is. Oh crap, wait, Trent, you idiot! Okay, good. He didn't mind. I was about to say, I thought I actually said it wrong.
The Typhlosion nods his head in agreement. Yeah, I do like meeting nice humans that aren't after capturing me. They tend to give me food, play with me, or even compliment me. Sometimes, they just stop to admire my crystals for a moment. They are really impressed by the way I glow. They say I look really cool. And sometimes they even ask for a photo.
That's
I
hilarious.
really like interacting with humans that aren't bad.
That's actually kind of cute. Imagine Pokemon just getting up for a selfie for you. That'd be adorable. I would love for you to do that. I take a picture of him on that. I take a picture of him in Pokemon Scarlet, but you can't really get him looking at the camera, smiling at it. I would love to do that. That's why I take a bunch of pictures and I try to do it, especially when they smile, because I love seeing them grin. Was Team Rocket the only ones that were after you? I hope so. They're gonna suck if it ain't. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Team Magma?
The Typhlosion thinks for a moment before answering. Actually, now that I think about it, there was another group I met before Team Rocket called Magma. They were also pretty big jerks. They also tried to capture me and use me as a power source. One of them even tried to throw a rock at me, just for being in their way. I was really mad at them, so I used Thunder Cage on them.
Sweet Arceus. That's what them jerks get. Get. What? What? Sweet Arceus. Every time I say what, it puts white. What am I, British? I'm sure this thing would understand British. I said, better understand me. Oh my gosh.
The Typhlosion nods in agreement. Yeah, they really did get what they deserve. One of them even told me that he wasn't afraid of me. Before Thunder Cage shocked him, I asked him if he wanted to test that claim, then the Lightning did a great job testing it.
That's hilarious. Yeah. At least he got back at them. Period. I had somebody years ago that made fun of my favorite Pokemon. And those Pokemon actually helped get them back. I should say get revenge. Dang it. Frick. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have this Typhlosion want to do it too.
The Typhlosion looks really angry when you say that. Someone made fun of your favorite Pokemon? That is not okay. Pokemon are wonderful, amazing, beautiful, and great creatures. How dare that person make fun of your favorite ones? Did you get them back for that?
Oh boy. Yeah, some of the other Pokemon I taught to helped me. Period. Including a giant. And that fairy type. I thought it was a giant crocodile. Hey.
The Typhlosion looks really impressed, amazed by your answer, and replies, "You had a giant Totodile help you? That is awesome and amazing. I love all of the water starters. They are some of my favorite starter Pokemon ever. How did a fairy type Feraligatr help you, though?"
He was one of the Pokemon I met that had a different form, like you. Period. But unlike you, we don't know how he got it. I believe that was the case. Oh my gosh.
The Typhlosion asks out of curiosity, "Wait a minute, he has a different form too? What does his look like exactly? And why does no one know how he got it?"
The biggest thing I noticed with him is he had a pattern on his stomach that would change depending on his mood. Spikes that would glow. And if he really liked someone, he would give you one of those spikes. Spikes. Huh. He can change his patterns and give people spikes. He can do. How did he even do that exactly? I don't know either. Period. But he was super friendly. And he actually gave me one of his spikes.
The Typhlosion looks at you in a little bit of disbelief. "Wait a minute, I'm not sure that I heard that right. He can change his patterns and give people spikes? Like, how did he even do that exactly?"
I have no clue. I'll be right back, guys. It's been too late.